And welcome to the second cast of whatever I'm gonna call this. Not entirely sure how we're gonna call this series, but we'll find a solution at a later point. For now, we've got Antemurale as the Wehrmacht on our lovely little northern corner, and Pax Ajax as the Americans down at the bottom. Immediate lock-in here from Pax Ajax into Infantry Company. Gives them access to a couple of little toys, most prominently the defensive structures, so you can place sandbags and mines with your riflemen, and some LMGs. We're gonna see how that works out, and also immediate pickup for the good old Osttruppen doctrine. Fallen off in popularity a little bit in the last couple of years, but always resurges now and then. And people really like their extremely cheap infantry that will struggle a bit against most enemies, but they also just trade very effectively, just due to their cheap nature. Which doesn't really say much about the human condition. We call these people's life cheap, but that's what we're gonna do for today. Pretty good in combat. They get a combat bonus similar to the Brits in cover, I believe. I don't think it has anything to do with the veterancy. No, it does not. That was just a standard change that was done at some point. Okay, takes the fight out in the open. So he's not gonna enjoy that one. Oh no! Okay, Antemurale did manage to wire himself in, but can still vault back over the sandbags once he's noticed that he put himself in a bit of a sad position there. I'm very surprised that these Osttruppen haven't dropped another model yet, but here we go. And there you see the little shield symbol with the knife through it. That'll always tell you that a unit receives combat bonuses and cover. And for the Osttruppen, it appears it's just down to accuracy, so they're very bad in out-of-cover fights, but they will trade pretty well in cover fights against standard infantry sections. Okay, forced them off with the rifleman echelon combo. And we got some very close range engagements going on over here. Just like a little bit like in a bad movie when nobody can shoot straight. But he needs to start to get out of there. If he gets very lucky with the RNG here, he will drop all these models. But this guy's not firing due to him being a little bit backed into this corner. Nice move on the cutoff by Antemurale, but does get the cutoff. Rifleman just a tad too late. And close range Pioneers as a worker unit, pretty cheap and not the best combat. But close up they can do some decent damage. But so far only in the health department. And as you just heard our wonderful announcer said, we have now entrenching tools. So they can build trenches. Usually people don't do it with Oster. There's not too much benefit to it. I am not entirely sure if they rework them, so similar to the Brits. So that if you build them, only you can get in. Because for some magical reason, a British trench is only reserved for British people. But the standard used to be that if you build a trench, anybody can occupy it once you vacate it. So it ties you down a bit, but it's a very strong position, especially on these long open ranges where it's not that much heavy cover. But nowadays Pioneers can build sandbags, so you can just use that. It's more reliable. You can wire it off. A sandbag is a bigger risk than it's worth these days. Echelon just trying to hold out a little. Nice flank by these riflemen. Quick retarget by Antemurale, so these guys do seem to be on top of the game. I got this replay from CoH.org. And I checked their ranks. I think Antemurale is roughly about 106 or so with Oster, and Pax Ajax is ranked 60, I believe, last I checked. So this should be a fairly competitive game. And the captain comes in with a bar rifle. Immediate upgrade. Gets the flank on DMG. Has to get out of there. Okay, decides for soft retreat. Nobody's firing at the captain though. These Osttruppen haven't been retargeted. Now they have. If that retarget would have happened sooner, he might have been in a better position, but for now Antemurale gets forced off. Yeah, I don't see them holding out much longer. No medic bunker yet, but battle phase 1 is complete. Into the half-track. Another benefit of the Osttruppen doctrine is also you don't have to build tier 1 to get anything further out. You just straight up build MGs and call them Osttruppen. I'm not entirely sure if it's still from off-map. I do believe they still come in from off-map and you don't have to build them in the HQ. Yeah, as you can see here, you can't build them. So they just come off in from off the map. Med Bunker is gonna upgrade once he has the munitions. I do believe if you do not build tier 1, yes you do... Oh no, you do get access to the Panzerfaust. Okay. So I think that's just tied to battle phase 1 then these days. I'll have to check it up again. But there is, I believe, a cap on that, and that is not just munitions. It's a little bit of a tactical control squad here. And I'm not entirely sure if this actually counts as green. What? Green cover, even though it displays as such. It does seem to do the trick, yeah. Because the first 2 models were in green cover, it displayed the entire squad as green. But in fact, only 2 of them benefited from it, and that should be a wipe. Oh, it's really unfortunate because that's the rifleman that was vetted, so the only rifleman with a anti-tank rifle grenade. Since they do only get access to that Edward 1, but there comes the second. Coming back home, will he get it off? Is he going for it? No, he did not. Just gives a little love tap to the ambulance. But very good map control for PAX Aegis for the beginning of the games, and I just realized that this is... I haven't resized the HUD yet. There we go. Now you can actually check the minimap. Ooh, half-track hit a mine there, a pretty big one. Backed away into it. So nearly killed it. I do believe mines also work with in terms of rear armor damage, depending in which way you drive into them. At least it appears so. Or maybe I just missed some damage there. We do have the lieutenant as well, so captain into lieutenant, so tier 1 and tier 2 for our American friend here. I believe there's no further upgrade yet. Nope, not yet. And MG in the house, forces off. Forces him back to base for now. But still brutal map control here from PAX. We'll see if these Panzer Grenadiers can change anything about that. Struggling with repairs. Okay, but here they come. Yeah, these riflemen are not gonna have a good time on the road. In negative cover. Oh, they should drop a couple, 1 or 2 models. But nice push on the cutoff again, just to deny him left side of resources because he has the rest. Okay, there we go. I would have been very surprised if they got home unscathed. But MG in a commanding position comes in here for the flank. Oh, actually moves up with the MG. Okay, I kind of expected him to go back here and cover more of this line of approach to prevent the flank. But he had other plans and he paid for it. Ooh, a mortar half-track. Well, that's a fancy unit if I've ever seen one. I'm a little bit of a fan of it myself, but it is kind of expensive for what it is. The 30 fuel really does delay attack. But if it's the only light vehicle you get, and it does a shot like that, you get value. So quite happy to see something different. No steward here. The flak half-track still not fully repaired, and there's like a nick of health that needs to be repaired before the engine is back on track. So that's been out of the game for like 3 minutes by now. Takes a bit of, but just Antemurale just not getting back on the map. That's usually the one thing Osttruppen can do. Is capping the map, but PAX Aegis just doing a way better job of it. Just look at the difference of income. Just plus 16, plus 17, plus 68, plus 35. And that after all these instances he was locked in base. M1 already in play. Well, already I say that he had long enough to react to that flam truck. See how this goes. Okay, here come again. Ooh, yep, that's an engine damage. Rifle grenade goes off, but M1 goes for the ground target, but misses. But nice attempt. Still, the map is so red. Yeah, he just sits there in base with all his units. I was hoping for a little bit more activity here. Needs to get on top of his micro. Antemurale. But we'll see, maybe he can make some nice plays. Got a supply drop here. Fuel and munitions. An MG34 and a Pack 40, okay. That's interesting, so he spent his last couple of minutes doing that. Which also gives him a little bit of a resource boost, so he doesn't need the map for it, but you still don't want your enemy to have all of it. Okay, conservative approach here. Well, not too conservative. Oh, it's an MG34 that you get. That is very interesting. So you do have access to the MGs without the tier 1, but it is, in quotation marks, only a MG34. Yum 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 yum. On top of everything. Ooh, white phosphorus barrage. Now that's something I haven't seen in a while. And okay, lightning never hits the same spot twice, but white phosphorus apparently does. So very slow approach to the game here from Antemurale. But that flamethrower, that's just gonna be roasted rifleman for days. But okay, it drops another model. Could have been worse. And looks like the AT gun is always in a good position. Forces off the flak half-track again. Echelons just about get out. And the mortar half-track has been... okay. Had 3 kills with his first shot, but then only got 1. But has been keeping Antemurale on his toes, so that's nice to see. I'm gonna just tip the camera a little bit like this. A little better view.
The capture point is under attack. Just got cut off.
So what do we have in terms of tech? Okay, we have no command post upgrades so far. Just gets an MG for now. And the major is still a couple of fuel out. Does the priest actually? No, it just does. It only requires 9 command points. That's good to know. Brave little major with his pistol is trying to cap the fuel while being assailed from all sides. But might actually get the decap. Ostruppen have not deigned to step on the point themselves. Oh, was that a... nice. Good use of the on me ability because it does break suppression and enables the lieutenant to move away.
Heavy machine gun team ready for
also gives it some combat buffs, which are coming pretty handy. Okay, pioneers need to get out and do. Flamethrower decided to roast the major a little bit. Okay, there we go. Finally getting some capping done by Antemurale. Flame half-track being aggressive. Should get out of there, but might take a shot for it. No! AT gun misses. Very rare. That kind of rare that this misses. Okay, they're like sandwiched in between 2 sandbags. But it looks like they're feeling it. And are quite happy to do so. Oh, never mind. I felt like the voice line would indicate a more northern position, but there wasn't anything there. 50 kills so far, winning against the MG34 because it takes its sweet time to set up. A little bit unlucky there for Antemurale, but oh god. Okay, but here comes the bundle nade, and that should be a dead 50 cal. Is he going for the steal, or is he happy with blasting away at the rifleman? Goes for the steal with the P-Grand, so that's gonna be a very expensive but also very tough MG. These boys going home. And the left side's immediately being cut back by Pax Aegis. Very nicely done. Let's see if we already have some other tech. No, just a massive amount of MGs. Actually got a second MG. Damn. We do have Battle Phase 2, but no building yet. Flamethrower, Flamer half-track being very aggressive again, and the combination of the anti-tank rifle grenade and the AT gunshot in the back takes care of that business. But still, map control, very stellar from Pax Aegis. How are the victory points? 239 as well against Antemurale. And 436 for Pax Ajax.
Howitzer on station and ready for action.
Concentrated barrage unlocked. And I do believe also the priest as well. Yes, indeed.
Crowds are sniffing
But
around
first up
our
comes the
axis.
Sherman.
Tactical point being
That's always a
captured.
solid choice. Medium tank that's able to switch between high explosive and armor piercing. And the high explosive does wonderful, wonderful damage against infantry.
Support is here. Sherman ready.
Black Half-Track doing some friendly fire, but thankfully friendly fire is reduced in this game. Ooh, the captain just ripping this MG apart from the front. Does not get the retarget and suppression in time. Here comes the Sherman. Yep, already switched to high explosives. And okay, first shot misses the MG but grazes the Pack 40.
Is under attack.
Looks like he's going in for the chase. Yes, indeed. Will he get it? Oh, he went for the MG and got that one. Tries to take care of business with the Hull MG and actually gets it. Nice. But immediately recrew by the Osttruppen. But the Echelon died for that micro. Oh, okay. He should get one more shot, but he should be fine. Unless there's anything on the retreat path, which is not, and this is a friendly mine. But did manage to cap up the eastern side.
Capture point is under attack.
We have a lot of LMG 1919s upgraded now. Here's the good old Panzer Grenadier 50 cal. He looks quite dapper in this little camouflaged hat. And some very low health riflemen capping the left. Okay, Motor Half-Track moving up. What are you shooting at? I wonder if he's shooting on... Yeah, he's just shooting by ear. Just took a wild guess and... Oh, okay. That tracking though. Okay, if the third one would have hit, that scatter would have been the scatter of the gods. Would have been quite amazing. Okay, so we have some deep MG positions here. Building his own little Hindenburg line. But apart from that, very slow on getting a move on with his units here. Which is why he's losing map control. Might want to consider to use the tactical map. You can use that with numpad 0. I'm personally not a proponent of it. I just use control groups, but you can also send your squads around here to try and cap the map. Or in general, just get positioning going. A lot of the top tier players do that, and they generally profit. And 50 cal just brutally murdering this pack crew. That was way out of position trying to get to that block half track. Pays for it, but runs into his brother from another mother. Gets pretty hammered in the face. Sherman's gonna come over, finish repairing, and oh, nice move. Always get rid of your opponent's team weapon if you can't capture them. Okay, that shot just vanished into thin air. Okay, he did actually switch to armor piercing and does get it. Nice job there. Actively switching to armor piercing just to get rid of the pack gun. Very nice moves there. And the armor piercing, I find, if you expect a tank, like lots of players just kind of refuse to shoot at infantry with the armor piercing, but it's actually not that bad. Yes, it has less AoE, obviously, but it also has less scatter, so you do get a little bit more pinpoint accuracy with it, I believe. So it can help you against really clumped enemies. It might not actually be that bad. Okay, this danger shit's coming up. The Stück 3 this time. It's not a Stück E like I had in my last cast. For some reason, I still had PTSD from my ladder encounters. And all the while I was rambling here, we have the wonderful priest hammering away at the enemy. Oh, come on, don't lag me now. Lag me out now here. Okay, they're just about done when I try to pay them some attention. But only got one kill, so nothing too serious happened here. Okay, come on. Get a move on, boy. I believe in you. Give us a good game. There we go. The 50 cal has just such high suppression value, but they're also kind of vulnerable. Especially the American one always likes to die fairly easy. And ooh, beautiful shot by the mortar. And with the LMG flank, I don't see that going home, especially now with that reaction time on the retreat. So there's another. He can reclaim his lost 50 cal here. Okay, gets into position quick. That's also the benefit of the 50 cal. It is squishy, but it also has probably the fastest setup time of all the NGs. And a high damage and suppression value. So these Ostrup are getting pretty much butchered here. Okay. Did move all his units out of base now, so that's fine. Keygrants are trying to clear it, but looks like he gets out of there. Ooh. Very nice flank attempt here. And I don't see that Stuck going anywhere, I think. Especially with the AT gun support. Oh, misses his shot. Will he miss the next one? Oh, he tried to stop for the increased accuracy, but he missed. How unfortunate. But Antemurale not with the presence of mind to stop and shoot back himself. So lucky Bray, like... I have a saying, but I kind of forgot. Lucky break while he was being unlucky for PAX Aegis here. That was kind of brutal. Nearly lost his Sherman for by no fault of his own, because sometimes the game is just against you. Why we love it and why we hate it. But Mortar's been nice and active, up to 9 kills by now. The delayed fuse barrage is... well, it's down to 25 munitions these days. And it's not awful, but you generally are better off just shooting the standard barrage. Unless you really just want to go for a bit of a bigger area denial kind of play. Like keeping a victory point safe and just hope to get lucky. It's decent enough to siege down OKW tech structures though. But I haven't tested the difference between a normal barrage and the late fused. Okay, got some whale ray artillery on a blob of riflemen that was able to move. And I think he was trying to get them while they were suppressed, but then he got forced off anyway. And they managed to stand up in time. Okay, got a prepared position here. Does keep actually control of double fuel for Antemurale for now. So that's not too bad. And looks like he... oh, never mind, that's a friendly troop. For some reason I thought these guys were enemies. Oh, double Dane-Geschütz now. Here we are. Now we're talking, boys. And get... build Stucks and profit.
Just lost a medium tank.
Gets the Sherman with the combination. Very nicely done. Too aggressive by PAX Aegis, even though he tried to drop the smoke, but it was just a little bit too late. Double Stuck against medium vehicles. Very nice rate of fire. Pretty accurate. And decent penetration values against medium vehicles.
Is overrunning one of our capture points.
Here comes the lonesome American AT gun trying to stem the tide, but oh no. The double dip from the Stuck freeze. Take down the flak mortar half-track. So Antemurale on its way, crawling his way back into this game. Echelon's on the wrong side of cover. Getting hammered by an MG in the house. But we should be kind of fine here. Is that an MG-34? No, it doesn't tell me from here. Ooh! Lieutenant eats a complete bundle nade. No model drop thanks to the heavy cover and the kind of no reaction to this. Very, very lucky to only lose one model here. The rest can get healed up by the ambulance. Okay. Retains control of his fuel by now. Ostrup now on level 3, upgrading with the MG42s. Nice to see, that's not forgotten. You do need Battle Phase 3 for that. So we know he has tacked that far. But for now he's content with the Dane-Geschützes. Without building the... what's it called? Armor Companier? No. Heavy Armor Core building. There we go. Tech structures. So whenever you see me going off into the sunset here, it's because my game lags, and when you use the middle mouse button to move your camera, it just kind of shoots you off. So that's a bit of annoying. So I do apologize for that. But then again, I'm still practicing here. Okay. Ostruppen doing a decent enough job of holding this. And this rifleman gets out. Stug actually snipes a model, that's kind of rare. With its main gun. And yeah, that's a little bit too much, but we got 4 models here. So that was very cost efficient. Yep, here comes the next LMG. So these guys are gonna be even deadlier, and the Stugs decide to tear down this house because it's getting annoying. Trying to force that LMG out of, but the double anti-tank gun setup is just out of range though. Could pop, 4 could take aim. I do believe you need veterancy for that, right? Yes, you do. Could pop that, but looks like he doesn't realize just yet that he's out of range. Good move, rifleman moving forwards into out of cover, but still taking massive damage here by the flamethrower. Flamethrowers win the day for now. Oh no! Late reaction here with the Stugs. Gets taken out by the double M1. So good move by Pax Ajax here. These Ostruppen actually are kind of a terror tonight, it seems, in heavy cover. But I do believe we've lost one at some point in this game. Oh, nice flank by the flamethrower against the garrison's building, and it looks like he did use the direct facing, but oh, Jesus Christ. The tactical control to the dual squad down here, Lieutenant and Captain. These guys have always been together the entire game. And they've just been ripping stuff apart. Tries and juke. But he should have zigged when he should have zagged. That kind of deal. So actually down to just 1 Pioneer to repair both his tanks. Well, we still haven't seen any more armor from Pax Ajax. Has 200 fuel in the bank. Should most likely start thinking about that. I'd probably just go for Shermans, double Shermans. Against a heavy tier 2 playstyle should be just fine. You don't need a Jackson. It's nice to have, but Sherman is just much more universally useful here. Gets another Panzer Grenadier and rebuilds the Pioneer. So good to see to him being aware of that. That he will run into trouble down the road. Okay, Oswald just down the flank because he does not want to tango with the M1 AT guns. And the Howitzer deciding to put a little pressure on these P-Grens. Might actually blow up the mine in this process if the barrage isn't stopped, which it doesn't appear to be. Okay, we're going for a double priest build. Let's see how that works out for him. Pretty susceptible to a dive, but we haven't seen Antemurale be the most aggressive player in this game, so you should be okay on that front. Always play to the weaknesses of your enemy if you can figure them out. And the very passive boy can be very easily dislodged by lots of artillery. Also, we lost another squad up top. I do believe it was, yeah, it was the second, whatchamacallit, Ostruppen boy. And pretty good squad retention here by Pax Aegis. Has lost too many squads. Very good veterancy on all of them. Damn, 23 kills on the lieutenant, 29 on the captain. These guys have been going to town. Just outperforming the line infantry here. So leading by example, always nice to see. Just and always keeping the capping pressure on. Really good, really nicely done here. Oh, that garrison was ever so close to going down with a Ostrup inside of him, but good reaction there. Gets out of it, and down goes the garrison. Double P-Grens in the middle, only 1 vetted though. And looks like we did get a retarget here to focus them down on the close-in. But they are quite a terror. No, the M1s. Okay, too far forward. Decide better of it. And Panzer Grenadiers and Ostruppen combo force everything off. The 50 cal on top of the priest is getting some action in. but I do believe it's not the most damaging of vehicular weapons in this game. Actually chases him all the way in the base. How far does the base MG extend? Actually not that far. Interesting. Okay, decides for a full retreat. Probably could have kept the Osttruppen here and just fallen them back to the green cover back there. No need to panic retreat. Unless they were suppressed by the MG. That might be a thing that has happened. So nothing too fancy otherwise going on. Antemurale, okay, now low on fuel with all these new nice vehicles, so rebuild the Stug. Not a bad idea. But for the moment, I think a Panzer IV would have served him better, or maybe even a second Ostwind. Because you know his enemy has 2 priests. And focuses on his infantry play, so Stugs will struggle with that. And they're not good for much else. Coordinated barrage, so there's going to be a lot of shells coming in momentarily. But as you see, they do take their sweet ass time, so they're not the best at forcing off movable targets. Usually best used either when you make a big push and your enemy is already committed with his AT guns to drop it on them, so he has to move them, or just static structures. Ostwind finds a nice little clump of soldiers here, so that will be very, very effective. And no reaction from Pax yet. There we go. Lots and lots of damage. And too ambitious of an AT gun, being all out there on his loadsome. And found some new Panzergrenadier friends. Immediate pickup with Osttruppen, so that's nice. It's always awesome if you have Osttruppen to recrew something your enemy loses. They're so cheap. With other factions you sometimes have to think about whether it's worth the manpower during certain times of the game, but not with this one. With the frontier! Seems like we have a French boy in here, okay, and Stuck goes for a base inspection trying to find those damn priests and finds one! Oh, the AT gun is turned the wrong way! Can't just stay here with impunity. Very nicely done, and oh no, some railway. Will he notice in time? Good, he did notice. And the question is, does he get out? Ambulance very late on the retreat, but the first one will always go pinpoint accurate, so should be okay there. And still, Antemurale just not taking advantage of having forced off his opponent off the field. And tries to go for the far cap with that AT gun and just loses it and hands it back to his enemy. Okay, decides to try and destroy it. Will we see the cap? Yes, we are. Just in case you're interested in how this works, as long as they have men on themselves, they cannot be destroyed no matter how low the weapon itself has dropped in terms of health. So you have to decrew it and then you can blow it up. Because there used to be a big issue where, for example, PTRS troops or bazooka troops would do so much damage to your team weapon, and then that even when they were full health, they suddenly would drop dead and you wouldn't know why. Or that the weapon would explode and they would run off the field. So to avoid that, that change was introduced. And it's I like the change, it's good. But since then people have gotten a bit lazy with repairing their team weapons. So you will often see in the late game team weapons getting dropped and being on no health. And then just easily destroyed, as opposed to needing 2 or 3 shots. But it's also, you can always also argue, it takes time to repair them and your pioneers might be better off doing something else, so. But if you have time, you might as well do it. That is a voice that has always triggered me, because technically they are correct, that is an MG42. But it's also just an LMG42, and you always think that it's a heavy MG about to suppress your guys. Okay, retains got some nice new veterancy on the fresh penals, Pigrans, sorry. So he's crawling his way back into the competitive infantry game. Still very nice and high veterancy for Pax Ajax. I don't think anything too crazy happened over here. Oh, this pioneer needs to start going home though. Has it been forgotten? And it has indeed. Too late. Too little too late on the reaction. Ooh, gets a main gun crit, so that beast has to go home to be repaired. And that one can happen once your vehicle falls below 25% health. And yeah, P-Grants close to a vehicle, they do get an accuracy bonus to make them more in the sense of mechanized infantry that they are. So they've been just taking names all over the place just now, but still, even with this doctrine, not enough map presence from Antemurale. Let's see, Pax Ajax just healing up in base, trying to think about his next move. Gets out of Jackson. Pretty good idea since he's now up against 4 vehicles, even though I think he has only seen 3 of them. Oh no, wait, the Ostwind has been revealed, I believe. So it's a 1v4 in the armor department. And Antemurale just hasn't been trying to punish his enemy for the lack of vehicles. Did go for the one, good for the Stuck push. So he's got the right ideas, he just has to be a little bit braver and more confident in his abilities. And yes, that will often get you killed, but that's the only way you can get better. Ooh, veterancy 3, the rate of fire. Oh, gets the Ostwind. Nicely done by Pax Ajax. Gets the kill, but meanwhile the bazooka was dropped, but the rest of the squad made it home. So that's something Antemurale can pick up. So it's, he still has double Stugs. And he knows that most American armor is fairly squishy. But it's always nice to have, but it does reduce the anti-infantry capabilities of your squad, so there's an argument to be made to not pick it up. But generally you do want to deny it to your opponent. So if you can pick it up with like a pioneer, it's not a big effective unit anyway. You still will profit from it even if your enemy doesn't have many vehicles. And generally, they will start to build them. Okay, Jackson a bit locked in by itself. Veterancy 2 on this beautiful MG. And here comes the priest, and good shot. Panzer Grenadiers need to start to get out of there. I don't fancy their chances. No reaction yet. Keep an eye on that up top. Just want to know what this Jackson is up to. The Jackson is on the hunt for the Ostwind. Panzer Grenadier went down in the middle. And the Stuck's now on the hunt. Will we see the heat shell? Stun him. Oh, a little bit lapse in micro, and it looks like... Yeah, that was the rifle nade getting the engine damage. Nicely done. Did use the heat shell to blind the enemy tank. And the second Stuck. No, the M1 and T-gun. Oh no! Ostwind pushes the Stuck out of range. Or better said, made a turn. And the Jackson gets away from now. Will he try for an aggressive dive? The Stuck's sitting there, thinking about it. And, well, he doesn't know, but he could just now dive it. But the map is still surprisingly red. So, very good job by Pax, just retaining his map control. A very bad job by Anti, if you want to see it that way. 38 minutes into the game, and we are only 92 VPs away for an Allied victory. Pax Ajax still with a comfy 300 points lead. Well, I guess the lead would be 200 points. Veterancy 2 for the Flak Panther just makes it into an absolute terror. Rate of fire, and actually anti-air capability, so that's not applicable in this scenario, but it's still nice to have on certain other scenarios. Oh no, these pioneers have a move order and they're kind of just moving to heaven. Ay. Okay, he's one pioneer left to repair all his vehicles, so he's not gonna have a great time with that. No idea what that's about, that must be a misclick. And yeah, I don't see that going anywhere. Unless both Stugs miss, but the second shot hits. Jackson's back at the action, takes a pot shot, and forgets about his AT gun yet again. Okay, here comes the aggressive play. Maybe we see an ambo snipe. Okay, nice. He tag teams the second Stug in. Oh no, main gun destroyed. Ambulance going down. Very nice push by Anti. At the peak range, just with impunity marching in, throwing a bundle nade. Not quite getting the kill there. MG34 Lieutenant with the sprint. God damn it, camera. Thank you. Yep, goes around it, so should force that off. Only has one LMG and a bazooka, so still not horrible anti-infantry capabilities, but also not the best that they could be. Really glad that you rarely see this point contested, so it's good to see that the game is going that way. Ooh, will he try to chase that down with a rifle nade? Okay, Anti sees it, decides to get back away. So Pax without any armor, but plenty of fuel in the bank. But so far he doesn't need it. We have triple Stugs now, so they're basically kind of useless. We also don't have any pintle mount machine guns, so they could do any semblance of anti-infantry damage. But the Vetru Ostwind basically carrying the game for now. Ooh, gets the wipe and drops the light machine gun. P-Grants I really want to see P-Grants with the LMG. Please pick it up, please pick it up. Oh no. Yeah, Pack's just way better on the map side of things. And we have 3 pioneers with minesweepers now, just because he has to get his vehicles back into the game. The Osprey is gonna get a nasty surprise here, but might actually wipe the echelon. No, loses line of sight. And Jackson's on the hunt. Lucky for him, just pinning off the frontal armor there. And oh, misses the shot. Don't be aggressive. It's not a bad trade. The Veteran C2 does hurt a lot. Oh, he rotates the very low Stug in. Nice snipe. Will he stay and try to finish the low Stug off? No. Okay, good. Nice use by the heat shell again. Denies him the pleasure of taking out that Stug, but it's still driving forward and being very aggressive. Oh, gets abandoned. Unfortunate. Actually decides to blow it up himself. And yes, very good AT gun micro from Ajax this game. Bet 3 with one of them. So there's potential for Anti, but he really needs to get on this snappiness in terms of getting the map back when he made a good play.
A capture point is under attack.
Okay, tries to now just rush the VPs. Trying to stay in the game. But I don't see it. He lost all his Austruppen. There's nothing else except for one MG. And it's only an MG34. Pardon me. And I think that's one of the big traps you can fall in if you have a lot of fuel in the bank. But you lose a lot of combat squads in the infantry department. You just don't have to... Even if you get the vehicles out, you will struggle with map control. So basically, Pax could just run in one squad at a time into the enemy tanks and basically not worry about it. Just retreat when they're getting low. But keeping them busy and just capping the map with everything else he has on offer. It's actually only like... by now it's only 4 squads. Lost a lieutenant at some point. Apologies for missing that, because I do believe we missed it. But still, he's working with what he's got. And... we lost something somewhere else. But I just want to know if that MG goes down. Oh, it's ever going to be ever so close. They can still do a little bit of damage while suppressed. Okay, and I do believe they will finish it off. There we go. Not quite in the point to capture it. Just dead souls lying in there and suppressed ones. Okay, yeah, there's no other choice, but nobody picked up the LMG. Now the Pioneers finally do it, which will actually give them the edge on the long range against the Echelons, and down goes the Ostwind to the classic rifle nade AT gun combo. He still has the right VP. Gets the ambush snipe again. It's just a little too late. Oh, and he's clumped up. Like, you just have one unit there, cap the rest of the map. So needs to really get a grip on his infantry micro. Maybe learn to use the tech map or different control groups, and goddammit camera. But does get the cap in the middle. Question is, will Pax just waltz into the middle like it's nobody's business with an MG, and these Stooks can do nothing about it because none are upgraded. Does have the munitions for it, and it's only 30 munitions for these guys. It's much more expensive than other vehicles. I usually get them once they hit vet 2 because I do believe, yeah. Okay, the rate of fire might not apply to the MG. But it's actually no accuracy bonuses, so you should just grab it when you can. And if there's no other vehicle on the field, just shoot with the main gun. It's unlikely that you'll hit, but you might hit. And every model drop counts in this game. I thought I just saw a grenade being thrown, but it's been a trick of the mind. Okay, decides to cap the fuel. Needs the VP though. Does have the middle one for now. Oh, who will win? My tip is on the 50 cal. But railway, that's a good way to keep a hold of your victory point. Oh, no, okay, should be fine. Nearly too late, but only nearly. I hope he sees these guys going down. Okay, there we go. There's an MG on the far side. Is that a bazooka? How is that? It's an LMG 42 actually. Looks like we just lost the priest by the cheeky Stug pressure. Vet 3 for that boy. So they haven't been useless, but there were just too many Stugs. Panzer Force would have done him probably a lot better. Or at least get the pintle mounts and then just, when you've killed everything, just drive up into their faces. Blast away, or just use them as infantry support guns basically. Go to the medium range and just hope for the best. Comes the grenade to force them out of cover, but that just gets them closer with their veteran C3. Okay, still went out thanks to the veteran C3 P-Grand Companion. But yeah. I actually triple cap now, Jesus Christ. Pax Ajax really slacking now and losing a lot. So it's gonna be a tighter run than it appeared to be. Yeah, and veteran C3, these riflemen don't care too much about a couple pioneers with minesweepers. Especially if they're not retreated. Okay, there we go, gets the second squad out there. Lucky for him, he only has 2 vehicles to repair, so doesn't need all of these pioneers. The aggressive support weapon blob in the middle. Fair enough, I suppose. Okay, we have an artillery field officer called him for desperation. Here comes a smoke barrage to get him close. Oh, I'm afraid I'm getting a hiccup. I hope it'll pass. Sorry, that was probably a bit loud. Caught the cable in something. There's so much stuff to pick up. Somebody pick it up. I want it all. But they are already upgraded with BAR and LMGs, so these guys do not have open weapon slots. I do wonder, do medics have weapon slots? I doubt it. It would be funny as hell if they grab those. Okay, here finally comes another Sherman. Stug's a little bit out of position. Yeah, he's finally trying to use it as anti-infantry out of desperation. Still on armor, on high explosives, so didn't do too much damage against the Stuk. Goes for the crush against the Pigrans while circling the Stuk. Now that's what I call value. Only gets one Pigran model and had a little bit of a weird dance here. Looks like it didn't have quite a line of sight, so the Stuks still do something. Take out the German. But in come the vetted AT guns and just mercilessly butchering that Stuk 3 in their natural habitat. There we go, finally picked up that LMG. Oh, he's still hanging on by some thread. Pax Aegis just keeps losing important squads and can't quite figure out which way to approach. Is that another mortar half-track? It is indeed. My. Bit of an odd choice for closing out the game, but I don't know. No, he wants to get rid of his MG without too much trouble. Yeah, there we go. Oh, the LMG Pioneers flanking the AT guns. Maybe get a decrew? Nah, I don't think so. They'll just go home. Safe outstate the welcome. Capping going on down south. Stuk finally opens up on the heavy machine gun. Pioneers actually nearly lose a life here. Here comes a supposed double bazooka. Yes, indeed, echelons. Lots of fuel left for Pax Aegis, but hasn't had the most luck with his tanks in this game. Only 7 points left for Anti, but he's just hanging on and hanging on. What other abilities do we have on here? Inspiring over. Might have been worth popping here. Give these Pigrans an additional edge. Okay, hopefully he moves these boys. Doesn't forget about them. Oh, he is forgetting about them. Okay, but gets out in time. Yeah, I think Pax just really needs to decide for one side and go for it. It's a mistake I very often do. It's just I try to be everywhere and then in the end I'm nowhere. And that's kind of what's happening to him here as well. He's trying to cover the entire map with the few squads he has, but he just doesn't have the force to pull it off. And then the German good old counter-attack gets him in the end. So here comes a good pineapple. Okay, dodged but still grazed and forced him out of cover. Oh, that was quite the throw. Did they get increased grenade range? Not in the tooltips, but that was quite impressive. For a bundle nade, that is. Okay, yeah. Ostwin can react to that because he knows nothing else is there. MG is not supporting a squad pushing in, but rather itself is the squad pushing in. That doesn't seem to go too well for it. No. 52, actually down to 50 points for the American. Ay. Did not see that game going that way. Let's see if he can somehow make the comeback there. There we go. Actually abandoned. We'll probably just finish that up. Oh boy. And AT guns a little bit out of position on the far left. Push off that Ostwind from earlier. But that just definitely rotated back to mid. Does get the left VP now, but he's still double capped against him. So clock's ticking against Pax. Double Pigrans, still going strong, not quite that 3 here. So for now, just need some more infantry, I suppose. Got some more riflemen back. I mean, Sherman isn't bad as well, but it's too late for that Sherman now. You just need to get on those points and just try and stay on them. Okay, uses the medics to cap, good choice. Just out of pure desperation. Nice work. Echelons do have access to a very cheap smoke screen grenade.
The capture point is under attack.
Unlucky for them, it wasn't fast enough, and they cannot capture and cover here. But not the best setup by the MG, but he probably just gets up and goes into the garrison. Should be kind of safe there, and these guys do not have, with the double Zooks especially, don't have the anti-infantry capability to get rid of it. Okay, finally sends something else to the 50 cal into the middle, while a 50 cal of his enemy is watching over. So that's not going too well here. But
We're down to 10 points, damn it!
grab the MG that was lying in the corner to protect the cutoff here. Try to get for the at least decap, but couldn't get that either. So will we see Antemurale pulling this one out? It looks like we do. Oof!
They got wiped out.
Good opening shot, but that's it, ladies and gentlemen. So not the worst of games, but there's definitely improvement for Antemurale to really get onto the map when he forces his opponent off. Just get that snappy micro, but that's a training thing. Keep at it and you will get there. Other than that, a little bit too hard on the Stugs. Maybe the upgrades would have been worth it at some point. Just to force off all this infantry. Packs with a little bit of a meme, not necessarily a meme build, but very hard on the artillery, which I do appreciate, but sadly didn't quite work out for him. And yeah, probably should have replaced a couple squads just to get that map pressure back on, flanking opportunities after exchanging a lot of MGs between these two players. But yeah, well done to Antemurale, and it was a close game in the end. Let's check the stats. And as always, if you have questions about depression or want to talk about it, feel free to leave a comment. Instructions below on the ways I will reply to you. I don't think it's worth going through that every time, so if you're interested, please do just check out the description. It's not too long. And we're gonna check out the stat screen after this. So yeah, most valuable unit, I could attest to that. The Stug 3 got a very nice, lots of base rates, lots of value out of that one. Lost 3 of them though. Always saddens you. Panzergrenz did a very nice job as well. But going a little bit Soviet style with those Osttruppen. I'm losing more than he kills, but still pulling it out. Actually much closer KD, interestingly, for PAX ages compared to Antemurale. So there must have been a lot of friendly fire or some things that didn't quite jive for the game. Let's see. Oh my. PAX with a major lead throughout most of the game. I think that's where he lost the first priest and the first German. And then it was pretty even throughout the rest of the game. Just questionable prioritization of both players. Points held, yeah, the PAX ages with mostly the map was mostly red for this game, as you can see on this graph. And resource float was just extreme in the end. Just he kept running out of manpower, he had to reinforce so hard. Anything out of the ordinary here, except 4 Osttruppen lost, even though he's only built 3, that's interesting. Maybe it double counts it when a recruit team weapon gets counted. There's always some really odd stats in here. But 1000 efficiency, they certainly did their dues. Let's check for packs. 2 poor re-echelons lost. Yeah, other than that, the squad preservation was okay. But he didn't fancy a rebuild of many of these squads. And I think he suffered for it. And yeah, the vehicle play was unfortunate. Double Stugs just taking a number on him. Not something you see too often. And against Americans, Stugs do perform really well. Like, look at that. Everything just takes all the damage from Stug 3s. But anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye-bye.